Hello, everybody. I'm Melissa, and welcome back to Book Bar, and welcome to a 5-star prediction. I know I've done these in the past, and some of these might be repeats. I don't even remember. But I'm like changing it up. I'm just going to do 5-star predictions when I feel like doing them. And I have 10 books that I think are going to be 5 stars. So we're just going to go through what they are. And yeah, I'm going to read the synopses of them, and the ones that I have with me, I will show you. The first one that I think is going to be 5 stars is Behind the Bars by Brittainy Cherry. I know that Rachel from Rachel Reads and Sings absolutely adored this. And I've had it on my shelf for a while, and I need to get it. I know it has something to do with like jazz. But yeah, musicians in New Orleans. When I first met Jasmine Green, she came in as raindrops. I was the awkward musician, and she was the high school queen. The only things we had in common were our music and our loneliness. Something in her eyes told me that her smile wasn't always the truth. Something in her voice gave me hope I always wished to find. And in a flash, she was gone. Years later, she's standing in front of me on a street in New Orleans. She was different, but so was I. Life made us colder, harder, isolated, caged. Even though we were different, the broken pieces of me still recognized the sadness in her. Now she was back, and I wouldn't make the mistake of letting her go again. When I first met Jasmine Green, she came in as raindrops. When we meet again, I become her darkest storm. That sounds wonderful. I'm really excited for it. Like, I love this cover. Like, those cover models are gorgeous. And yeah, I'm just super excited. Brittainy Cherry always tends to make me cry and get emotional. Speaking of books that make me cry and get emotional, we're just going to go right into number 2, which is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have been putting this book off. Not going to lie. I've owned it since it came out. Everyone has raved about it since it came out. And even before it came out, because a lot of people had ARCs, because it was like on NetGalley, like read now for like 24 hours. And I just like couldn't get to a computer that had my NetGalley, the computer that had my NetGalley account. And so I didn't get it, but I've been putting this off for a long time, and I need to get to it. I know it's a second chance. I'm not even going to read the back because I have read it a couple times, but it's second chance. And they were like married, and something happened with their children or a child, and they ended up getting a divorce. And now, like, she's starting to date again, or he's starting to date again, one of the two. And the other one is not happy about it. And they realize that they are still in love and want to be together. So, yeah, I just know that this book is going to wreck me, just like all Kennedy Ryan's books do. But I need to get to it I need to get to it before the end of the year. Like, I cannot keep putting it off. But I do keep putting it off. But also, like, I need to listen to the audiobook because the audio narrators are fantastic. So I just need to prioritize this, and I'm hoping, like, by putting it on this list, it makes me prioritize it, because maybe I'll do a video or something, like a vlog of reading 5 stars or something. But I need to do this. I need to get to this one ASAP. But yeah, so both of these are the first 2 on my 5-star predictions. Then the next one is a little different. It is a fantasy romance. It is The Witch Collector by Charissa Weeks. Every harvest moon, the witch collector rides into our valley and leads one of us to the home of the immortal Frost King to remain forever. Today is that day, collecting day. But he will not come for me. I, Raina Bloodgood, have lived in this village for 24 years, and for 24 years he has passed me by. His mistake. Raina Bloodgood has one desire: kill the Frost King and the witch collector who stole her sister. On collecting day, she means to exact murderous revenge, but a more sinister threat sets fire to her world. Rising from the ashes is the collector, Alexis Thibault, the man she vowed to slay and the only person who can help save her sister. Thrust into an age-old story of ice, fire, and ancient gods, Raina must abandon vengeance and aid the witch collector in saving the Frost King, or let their empire and her sister fall into enemy hands. But the lines between good and evil blur, and Raina has more to lose than she imagined. What is she to do when the witch collector is no longer the villain who stole her sister, but the hero who's stealing her heart? Like, that just sounds like everything I love. Enemies to lovers. Witches, fantasy, like, it sounds fantastic, and I need to get to it ASAP. We're in the fall, and, like, I just always feel like fall is, like, fantasy romance vibes. So, next up, we have another fantasy romance, and that is Blood Mercy by Vela Roth. I know a lot of people have absolutely adored this. I know Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy really loved it. She even did a Patreon bookmark for it. So, I need to get to this. I know that this is, like, a vampire fantasy romance. One human, one immortal. Will their alliance save the kingdom, or will their forbidden love be a death sentence? When Cassius seeks out a Hesperine, which is like a vampire in this world, he could end her mortal life in a heartbeat, but she has no fear of his magic or his fangs. She knows the real monster is the human king, her father. If he finds out she's bargaining with his enemy, he'll send her to the executioner. As a Hesperine diplomat, Leo must negotiate the mortals who hate him. Cassia is different, but politics aren't why she captivates this gentle immortal. He wants more than her blood, and he can't resist the temptation. He'll provoke the war she's trying to prevent. Blood and Ash fans will love this slow burn, steamy romance with classic fantasy world building. Yeah, I'm really excited. Like, I know he's like a cinnamon roll, and I just do love me a good cinnamon roll. Especially, you don't get them a lot in fantasy romances. I feel like a lot of fantasy romances are like the alpha hero, and this one does not have an alpha hero. And the next book on my 5-star predictions is another one that I'm not going to read the synopsis for or anything. It is Fractured Sky by Catherine Cowles. Normally I wouldn't put, like, at the end of a series, but these are interconnected standalones. They could be read as standalones if you wanted to. Reading the series in order is beneficial because you do see Shiloh in the first book, and what happens to her kind of sets the whole series in motion. And now it's like years later after the events happened to her when she was a child, and she's very put off by the world until she meets Ramsey, who's like an ex-con. And yeah, I'm excited for it, so I need to read it soon. But that is my next 5-star prediction. Then we're going to go back to physical books that I own. The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Posten. I know that people have been absolutely loving this. I know Tori from Novel Life loved it. I never got to the Dead Romantics last year. I really need to. One of these days I will read it. But I don't own it. And my library hold for it has just been, like, the library is always, like, out for, like, it's out really far. And then when it does come in, I'm not ready to read it. Like, I have, like, 5 other things I need to read or something. So I do need to read it. But the 7-Year Slip by Ashley Posten, same place, different time. It's like, I think it's like a The Lake House, that movie that had Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock in it. But yeah, sometimes the worst day of your life happens, and you have to figure out how to live after it. For Clementine West, that means burying her head in work as a book publicist, being practical, and forgetting silly things like her beloved aunt. And Anella taught her, and forgetting the silly things her beloved Aunt Anella taught her, like living wide and chasing the moon. Clementine would rather stay grounded and keep her heart safe. For the last 6 months, she's done just that. But when she moves into her late aunt's apartment and finds a strange man standing in the kitchen, a man with kind eyes, a southern drawl, and a taste for lemon pies, her well-laid plans begin to fall apart, because he's the type of man who, before it all, she would have fallen head over heels for. And she still might, except he exists in the past, 7 years in the past to be exact, and she quite literally lives 7 years in the future. Her aunt always said the apartment was a pinch in time, a place where moments blended like watercolors. She also said that love was never a matter of time, but a matter of timing, and Clementine fears she may be 7 years too late. Like, that just sounds so good, and cute, and fun, and yeah, I'm really excited for it. So, that is on my 5 stars. Next is another one that's kind of a cop-out cheat, because I don't know that this book will necessarily be 5 stars, but I have hope for other books in this series, and that is Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. I know, like, book 2 people absolutely adore. I think that's the single mom one, and I'm really excited for that one. But I want to read them, and I like to read series in order. I'm weird like that. So, this is the first book in the Eden series. It follows a family. It's a small town, like, romantic suspense series. I think she's a cop. Like, she's a cop that's just moved to town. So, yeah, I don't really know, but let's see. Winslow Covington believes in life, liberty, and the letter of the law. As Quincy, Montana's new chief of police, she's determined to prove herself to the community and show them that she didn't earn her position because her grandfather is the mayor. According to her pops, all she has to do is earn favor with the Edens, but winning over the town's founding family might have been easier if not for her one-night stand with their oldest son. In her defense, it was her first night in town, and she didn't realize the rugged and charming man who wooed her into bed was Quincy royalty. Sleeping with Griffin Eden was a huge mistake, one she's trying to forget. He's insufferable, arrogant, and keeps reminding everyone that she's an outsider. Winslow does her best to avoid Griffin, but when a woman is found dead on the Edens' property, the two of them have no choice but to cross paths. As clues to the murderer lead to one of Quincy's own, Griffin realizes Winslow is more than he gave her credit for. Beautiful and intelligent, she proves hard to resist for him and the killer. Like, that just sounds so good. I'm really excited for this one now. I didn't realize that that's what it was about. But, yeah, I got this for my birthday from fellow Pisces, Monica at Pardon's Book Addict. But, yeah. I'm excited for this. Again, 5 stars. Hopefully 5 stars. And if not that one, other books in the series. Hopefully 5 stars. Next up, we have My Life in Shambles by Karina Halle. I have heard nothing but good things. Another book that will probably emotionally wreck me. Let's be real. I know that this one has chronic illness representation. I think one of them, he's going blind or has MS or something. I'm not, but I know I know one of her books it's this one and another one has a cover that are very similar. I think it's Rush by Emma Scott. One of them has a blind hero or heroine, and one of them has MS, I believe, some other form of chronic illness. But let's see. My Life in Shambles is an emotional, sexy, new standalone contemporary romance from Karina Halle. When Valerie Stevens made the resolution to say yes to new ventures, she never thought she'd end up in the tiny town of Shambles, fake engaged to one of Ireland's top rugby players. But there's a first time for everything. They say bad things happen in threes. After my boyfriend broke off our engagement, I lost my apartment, was laid off from my job. I can definitely attest to that. They also say life is what happens when you say yes to new adventures. So when my 2 sisters invited me to ring in the new year in Ireland, I decided to throw all caution to the wind and go for it. I was going to let saying yes be my new resolution. Little did I know I'd spend New Year's Eve having a hot and dirty one-night stand with Padraig McCarthy, one hell of a sexy Irishman. I also didn't know that the brooding, intense sex god was one of Ireland's top rugby players, a rugby player with a proposition for me. Come with him to his tiny hometown of Shambles and pretend to be his fiancé for a few days, just so his ailing father can have some peace of mind. It sounded simple enough, but it was anything but. Not when the town gets up in your business, not when the media hunts you down, when your past comes back into the picture, and there are real hurts and feelings at stake. Not when the secrets could break you. They say life is what happens when you say yes to new adventures. This is My Life in Shambles. That sounds so good. And I just need to get to it. And yeah, it's a 5-star prediction, of course. I'm excited. Hoping I love it. I loved The Forbidden Man by Karina Halle, and I think that's all I've read. But I'm hoping that I love it. So, yeah. 2 more. We're going to go with another one that I think is going to be an emotional read. Just a Heartbeat Away by Cara Bastone. I know, again, this is an older one that people have people really enjoyed. I know it's an age gap, which I love me an age gap. It's a single dad. Love a single dad. So, yeah. Some people change your life, others change your heart. Newly widowed dad Sebastian Dorner was unraveling at the edges until his son's teacher, Via de Rosa, threw him a lifeline. Now, 2 years later, they reconnect at Maddie's new school. An inconvenient but unmistakable jolt of attraction crackles between them. But why does the first person to spark with Sebastian in years have to be a millennial? Is 20-something Via really too young for him? Or does 40-something Sebastian just feel too damn old? A former foster kid, Via's finally forged the stable life she always dreamed of. New job, steady income, no drama. The last thing she needs are rumors about her and the single dad at the school. But why does she keep being drawn into his capable, worn flannel orbit? And why does being around Sebastian, Maddie, and even their dog, Krabby, seem to spark so much want? They're trying to ignore the tension threatening their friendship, but sometimes what'll heal you is just a touch and a heartbeat away. That sounds so good. So good. And I have the audiobook, so I do need to prioritize it. Again, these are books that, like, I feel like a lot of them are older, and I just need to get to them. And I keep putting them off for some reason. I don't know why, but we're gonna go with it. And then the last book that I have that is a 5-star prediction is another fantasy romance. It is House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein. Don't know how to say it, but yes. Free the crows, Fallon, and they will make you queen. Until an oracle predicted my real future, I'd never imagined myself rising above the curve of my round ears. After all, I was a magicless halfling, loved by beasts but loathed by every pure-blooded fairy at the court. Well, all but one. Dante Reggio, Prince of Luce, had owned my heart since he gave me my first kiss. If gathering a slew of iron relics could help me overthrow the current monarch and crown his brother to rule at my side, then treasure hunting I'd go. If only the oracle had warned me that the winged demon I was releasing into the world, and that I'd become this demon's obsession. Yes. That sounds fantastic. And yeah, I need to get to that ASAP. Another one I've had on my Kindle for a really long time, and I just need to prioritize it. Like, there's things I just need to get to, and I'm hoping by putting this out in the world as 5-star predictions that I get to them. But yeah, what are some of your 5-star predictions? Have you read any of these? What do you think of them? What are your favorites? Did you not like any of these? Don't let me know if that's the case. Just kidding. I take all thoughts on this channel. But yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a blue heart emoji, because Indigo Ridge or mountain. Either one. Blue heart or mountain. Or both. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye.